Also making headlines this week was a woman who says an airline advised her not to breastfeed as it could make other passengers uncomfortable. Now, just to clarify, this was a story. She was on a TUI flight to Spain. Now, she was breastfeeding the baby during takeoff and was told not to, it wasn't permitted. Now, I kind of understand that from a health and safety perspective, because the baby has to be strapped up, but she felt a little bit anxious about the return flight and looked up on the app where it said on the app the response was to avoid breastfeeding in case, quote, it makes other people feel uncomfortable. Despite there being no official restrictions in place. Off you go, Nadia.
Right. Can I just say, to anyone that finds a woman who is feeding and hydrating a 5-week-old human uncomfortable, take yourself over to a mirror, look in the mirror and have a word with yourself. Because think about that, it's a baby being fed. Where is your mind going that you are uncomfortable with that? Honestly, it makes... I just literally can't believe it. I mean, it's very different if you've got everything fully out and swinging around. I can understand that. And, I mean, I used to be paranoid about anybody seeing any... And I was really uncomfortable and nervous. That's another thing, to be kind. Think of the woman, because for me, I was always embarrassed, was always trying to hide everything and trying to keep a human alive, which is actually quite difficult when you're suddenly handed one.
You see, back in the day, I mean, I keep going back to Northern Ireland in a way, but it is your upbringing. Back in the day, you never would have done that in public. You would have been in a room, even in your own house, if you had people visiting.
And what would that... What modesty? Is that what it was? That was the root cause, was it? Or
pucker, if you like. You just didn't do it.
Yeah.
However, today, I think there's nothing more beautiful than seeing a woman feeding her baby. But I did have one experience with Esther Ranson. Esther, I know you won't mind me telling this because it went in the papers anyway. But Esther went to a literary lunch and she breastfed in public. And the papers the next day absolutely blasted her for doing that in public. So she was on my radio programme the next day.
Which wouldn't happen now, by the way.
No. But anyway, she was on the radio. I'm going back to the 80s now.
Yeah.
And she was on my radio programme the next day. She said to me, don't mention, if I have to feed the baby, don't mention. I went, absolutely not.
Awful.
But anyway, then she had to feed the baby. And so we're trying to have a chat and all you can hear is... And it got to the point where it was so loud and so constant that I had to say, just in case you're wondering what the heck is going on in this studio...
Esther kissing me up and down my leg.
Exactly. These producers are not sort of off-beam. This is Esther feeding her baby. It was hilarious, honestly. But anyway,
were you a public breastfeeder?
I was, yeah. I mean, I did try to be discreet, but when the baby's hungry, especially on planes as well, babies are screaming and then you get everyone going...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. You're going to shut that baby up. It's like... No, I'm not. I'm going to breastfeed it and then hopefully it'll go to sleep and that, because babies do get upset on planes and that. They're contained in a small area.
Quite often their ears
and their ears are playing up and that. So, no, it's the most natural thing in the world to do.
Yeah. Well, obviously, TUI, the company that the story we're talking about, a spokesperson has said, we're really sorry for the distress caused to the passenger and her infant. As a family-friendly travel company, we support breastfeeding on our flights at any time. We are currently conducting an urgent internal investigation and we'll be making sure that all colleagues are retrained on our breastfeeding-friendly policy.
Well done, then.
Absolutely.
Well done, then.